Hey guys, episode 3 of Yellow Colored Glasses.
Do I have anything in my teeth?
Not right
Most
now.
important.
Yeah, I didn't get to check.
Your
bathroom was occupied.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. You're in the clear. I'll
That's
tell
good.
you.
All right, so Michaela and I have brought on Jannie to talk with us today. Jannie is our personal line specialist in the office. She's your go-to home girl for home and auto and umbrella.
Yep. So, this whole episode, right now we've got Jannie sitting in front of us, but this whole episode is going to be kind of around our team and what everyone's roles are, how you ended up here. And so this is an interrogation.
Sounds so serious.
Okay, so Jannie, give us a little bit of the background on how the first initial contact with you came about and how months went on before we actually ended up where we are.
Oh, yeah. I feel like the story... Well, there go my glasses.
Yeah.
We're good.
We already have a blooper reel, like
Yes.
5 seconds in.
Yeah. You can more than welcome to either leave them there or pick them up either way.
I might pick them up so I don't step on them accidentally.
If it were me, I would roll right over them.
That's what I was thinking.
While I wheelchair. So.
I'm just going to stick them here.
Yeah. Safety.
Yeah, safety first.
Yeah.
So I had kind of bounced around from job to job for a few years. I was in banking for a little while. Then I worked in a medical office. I was working in a medical office when COVID hit, so that was super fun. Loved that. And I was just kind of in a spot where I didn't know what to do next. And I, out of the blue, got a message one day on Facebook Messenger. I didn't even have a Facebook account at the time. Just somebody messaged me through Facebook Messenger because I still had it on my phone. Wasn't even using it. And she was somebody that I hadn't talked to in years and asked me what I was doing. And I told her kind of where I was in my life and how I was just kind of trying to figure some things out. And she asked me if I'd ever thought about insurance. I'm like, nope. Haven't ever considered it.
But now I have.
But now I have. Tell me more. And she said that she had some contacts, so to just kind of hold tight, see what she could do to kind of get my foot in the door. And so she hooked me up with with a broker in Lee Summit, and that's how I ended up getting licensed in the first place. But I was driving about 35 minutes a day, one way. That's the beauty of living in Pleasant Hill, is you get really comfortable with driving everywhere.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where it seemed like I was always kind of far away from my kids when I needed to be there, and so just always constantly felt torn, and wasn't sure 100% if I was in the job that I needed to be in for the long term. And so I don't know. I was there for like a year and a half, and I still didn't have a Facebook account at this time. I had shut it down a few years ago for personal reasons. And my youngest daughter, it's just so many weird little dominoes that had to fall into place. My youngest daughter is 12 and wanted a kid's Facebook Messenger account. And in order to do that, a parent has to have an active Facebook account. And I was like, oh man, I didn't want to do this, but okay, whatever. So I tried to like quietly reactivate my Facebook account, and it was up for a few days, and then my brother started noticing and other people started noticing. I was like, well, I should probably
Here I am.
make an announcement that I'm back. And so I did, and I happened to mention in my little I'm back on Facebook announcement that I was a licensed insurance agent. And Dustin reached out to me.
So I missed the whole backstory of that.
No, I didn't know that either.
For those that are just chiming in, Dustin is Amanda's husband.
Yep.
And he is a friend of my brother.
Okay.
And that's how, and also there's weird like connections. Like he was a ref for my oldest daughter's Parks and Rec basketball team.
Okay.
Years ago. Like she's now a senior in high school. This was like first or second grade. and he made her cry during a game.
Who?
Dustin. He did.
Standard, very on brand Dustin.
Yes.
Yeah. So he called a penalty on her, or a foul on her, and she didn't think it was fair. And she let him know with some tears and probably some choice great words.
As she's literally at my house right now babysitting my child. So
That's funny. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The turnaround there.
Yeah.
We did not know how connected our lives would be. At the time, my husband at the time and I were mortified. Like, we came up to Dustin after the game and we're like, I'm so sorry. That was completely unexpected. She knows better than that, but we'll have a talk with her. Like, you didn't do anything wrong. So anyway, so that's how Dustin even knew who I was through my brother. And he started asking me questions like, what type of insurance are you licensed in? And at first I was like, where is this conversation going? Like, I don't understand. And so he asked a few follow-up questions, and he said, well, we have this brokerage in Pleasant Hill. And then I connected the dots, like, oh, that's the one I drive past every day on my way to work. And he was like, so if we're ever, hiring in the future, at some point, would you be interested? And I was like, sure, let me know. I mean, because that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And working in Pleasant Hill would be a whole heck of a lot better for my family and just me in general. Yeah. And, then I didn't hear from him for months. Like,
a lot happened during those quiet months, trust me.
And I kept telling myself, I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, if they've hired somebody else, it wasn't meant for you. Don't get excited, like if it seems absolutely perfect. I talk with my hands a lot, so just let me know if it's out of control.
No.
But, inwardly you're like, I'm so excited this could work out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but be cool, because this might not be your thing.
But like, I don't really care.
But I don't care. Like, if they hire somebody else, it's totally fine. I'm not going to be upset at all, but it's totally not. So,
oh my God.
But yeah, and then out of the blue one day, I got another message, and they were like, hey, could you get on a call? I was like, yeah. I can.
Like now.
Like
Can
today.
we do this right now?
Yeah.
Was it that day?
I think it was the same day.
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, put your big girl pants on, Jannie, and act like you're totally cool and don't want this too much. I really, really, really wanted it. But yeah, it was on my lunch break that we had.
That's right.
We did like a Zoom call.
And it was with all four of us.
All four of you. I was sitting in my car at a park in Lee Summit. Oh my gosh. With like glare in my face. I don't even know what I looked like during that time.
Hey,
but
it didn't matter.
Didn't matter. Apparently. Apparently it didn't matter.
Gosh, of course not. No.
So yeah, we had that phone call that day, and you guys asked me some questions. I was able to ask you some questions, and then I think that same day you guys I forget who contacted me. It was probably Dustin, because he was my main contact at that point, and asked if I could meet in person. And I was like, sure, this sounds good. Of course, I can meet in person. And I think it was the very next day.
I can't believe that it happened
very quickly.
It happened so fast.
And I think that's one of the things that I've learned in this process, because my initial entrance into insurance was so random. It came from a Facebook Messenger. Like, I didn't contact the person. She reached out to me. We hadn't talked in a long time. And that got me into insurance before Warren Mounce was even a thing.
Right. Before we existed.
Before you existed. Probably about the time that you guys were like, should we do it? Should we not? Like,
that's okay.
Yeah. And so I got into insurance, got licensed, started getting experience, started, with the exact same companies that we work with now. And I just wasn't sure. Like, I just felt like it wasn't going to be my forever place.
Right.
And so, my eyes and ears were always kind of open, but always wanting to still show up and do a good job. You know what I mean? Because that's another thing I've learned is you just have to keep showing up every day and putting one foot in front of the other. And eventually the path becomes clear.
Yes.
And it happens like that. And that's what happened.
So
with
the
this.
night that we did the in-person interview,
Yes.
you get to walk into a room with 4 owners.
Yes. With another in-person interview.
Yes. And we
I
tried
wore
to make
my black and yellow
You did.
that day.
You did. You tried to impress
I wanted
by
to
your
touch on
colors.
that. I wanted to make sure that the people of the world knew that Jannie showed up in a yellow and black outfit.
Yeah.
She was already an employee at that point.
I'm a little extra sometimes with my wardrobe.
But just like, how did you feel walking in with 4 people? We tried to make it as much like a conversation as we
Yes.
could, obviously. But that's still, as the individual coming into that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's such a good question.
Well, I think it helped that just the day before we'd had that phone conversation with all 4 of you. So I didn't go from like 1 person to 4.
Okay.
So I already kind of had a feel for the dynamic of the group, but it is different being person to person than
Right,
through a
for sure.
screen. So I have to say though, I was not at all overwhelmed or intimidated. I was just focusing on trying not to come in and be a nerd, like a total nerd, first of all, and be, I don't know, I didn't want to come across as like too excited too. Like I wanted to be super cool because I mean, things were happening fast, but I also didn't know for sure and want to make any assumptions.
Keep kicking you. I'm sorry.
I keep hitting the equipment, so you're gonna have. Like,
I haven't
all
heard
these-
anything, so.
Oh, that's good.
You've hit it graciously.
My hands are just out of control sometimes. So, so yeah, I was kind of focused on like just be professional. Don't be embarrassing. Be a kind of person that they want to work with.
Right,
basically.
for sure.
But no, it wasn't super intimidating.
Okay.
You guys did a really good job of making me feel
Good.
okay.
Mission accomplished.
There we go. We did
Well
it.
done.
Yeah, we very much wanted, like, I think everybody wanted to meet you and kind of get a feel. For me personally, I suppose I'll speak for it. I wanted to just get a feel for you, kind of see what you were about, and give you the opportunity to get a feel for us collectively, me as an individual, everybody else as an individual. So, yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
So now that you're here,
Yes.
how do you feel?
I love
Put you
it.
on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Don't give us the wrong answer.
No, I really love it. Just right down to like when we had our one-on-one
Yes.
the other day. Or 4-on-1, I should say.
4-on-1.
4-on-1. Right down to the details, like I sit in front of a gigantic wall of windows. And I came from a very closed off office where I didn't really see sunlight most, like 8 hours a day. And just that alone has changed my outlook during the day. I love being 3 minutes away from my front door. I can go home for lunch.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
Let Phoebe out.
Let Phoebe out, my little fur baby. Yeah, Phoebe gets very excited to see me every single day, midday now. It's like it's new every single time. It's like she can't believe that it's still happening. She greets me with
Typical
so
dog
much
behavior.
excitement. Yes. But yeah, and I love the work that I do now. I love the opportunity to sell. I love the opportunity to interact with people. We have a lot of people who just kind of come in and chit chat, and that's fun too. So it's a
You
good
never
mix.
know who's going to walk in
You
those doors.
never know.
You gotta be on your toes.
Yes, yeah. And in the atmosphere is like we very much get things done around here, but there is a lot of room for fun, and we laugh a lot, and
We do laugh.
Caleb keeps things very entertaining.
Yes.
Yes.
So in the next little section of this podcast, you'll hear Dustin and Jake talk to Caleb, who happens to be my brother.
Yeah.
And so Jannie, just to kind of give you a lay of the land of how the office is set up, Jannie sits right in front of me. Caleb sits on the other side of the office facing Jannie.
Directly across from me.
Most of the time he's actually in a different room working. However, on occasion throughout the day, he'll come out and he'll engage with the rest of us. He'll come out of his cave.
His cave, yes.
And Jannie is collecting an assortment of quotes that Caleb likes to say.
I think we agreed today. I'm probably on chapter 4 already. I've just been here for going on my 3rd month, I think. And the things that come out of his mouth are just so funny.
They are.
And the best part is he's never trying to be funny, really.
It's just there.
It just comes out of him.
So as his sister, I've grown up with him, and so a lot of the things that he says are not very shocking. Because, it's
You're
just...
used to it.
It's just, but then whenever you point it out and I think about it to someone who doesn't know him, I'm like, oh God, yeah, that's absolutely hilarious.
It's hysterical, yeah.
It's been entertaining for sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil anything, like specifics of, and I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure it will come up in the podcast episode.
Yeah.
And I really want Jake to handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how that pans out.
But there are some very specific things that Caleb has done to himself in the last few months since I've been here that are just my favorite thing in the world.
Floating saran wrap.
I feel like we all need to be a fly on the wall for his little snippet.
Yeah. Can we just
I really want to just put
table?
my ear to the door the whole time.
Oh man. But anyway, Jannie, we are so honored to have you on our team, and you've been a great asset for us. And we just love having you.
It's good to be here.
I know I've already told you this in private, but I feel like it's so cool that you were able to self-identify that, you were in a place that didn't really feel like it was forever for you. And a lot of people would stay in safety, and they would stay in what's certain. You're going to get a paycheck, but you took a leap of faith on yourself. You bet on yourself on that. And the majority of people, they wouldn't do it. And so to take the courage to do something different, to move different, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome.
Yeah.
And you did something different. You moved different. And I don't know, that's just something to be commended.
Thank you.
Every day, all day.
Yes,
and
for
that
sure.
has not historically been me. Like, I've usually, leading up to, I'd say my 30s, played it safe.
Yep.
With everything.
Yeah.
Not been a risk taker. And there was a point during, between 30 and 40 where I was like, I gotta start doing things that scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
Or else I'm not gonna live the life I want to live.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's terrifying.
For sure.
It has always been worth it.
Do it scared.
Do it scared.
Whatever you do.
That's the motto these days.
Yes. Do it scared.
That is.
Yep.
So, all right.
Thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
Allowing us to interrogate you.
Oh, it was brutal.
There will be more.
Ready.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Get you on here with more astonishing questions.
Ooh.
There we go.
Where do dinosaurs come from?
Well, you'll have to find out on the next episode. Do some research first.
We'll leave the second half of this episode up to
the men.
gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes.
But you will have to listen. Caleb does not disappoint.
No, he
Does
doesn't.
not ever disappoint.
I'm upset that I'm not the funny one of the two of us.
Well, you're pretty funny. I think you're a dynamic duo, is what you are.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
Anyway,
Okay.
All right. Gut.
onward.
Okay.
What's going on, Caleb?
Not much. How's everyone else doing here? Doing good, man.
Good, man. Well, this is what, episode number 3?
Yeah, I mean, the girls just did one, so technically it's either 4 or it's 3.5, or I don't know, we don't know. So whatever they tell us, whichever number they tell us.
Yeah. So today we have Caleb Shepard on.
Hi, I'm Caleb.
yeah.
I'm not good on a mic, so
That's all right.
Hey, we're all learning.
I'm trying to go with the flow on all this media stuff, so it's definitely a lot different.
What do you think of it so far?
It's interesting.
You sound good.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm just not used to, I've made a lot of stupid videos in my life, so, I'm trying to get back into it.
Well, we're not going to be stupid on this.
I'm very stupid.
I was
on
going to say,
camera.
I think you actually have an advantage because we don't have any experience making any videos.
Correct.
Okay, good point. But my videos were very dumb in high school, so.
That's okay.
But beyond that, I'm happy to be here.
Cool, man.
Okay.
Well, okay, so you're happy to be here. We know you've done an intro video. We all did our intro videos that we put on social media, all that stuff. But let's go a little deeper into really kind of your history. Like, what brought you here? What were you doing before you came on board with us?
Well, I went to high school for 4 years, like everyone else, and then I graduated, and kind of thinking I was, head over shoulders. Wanted to take on college just kind of by myself.
What were you going to college for?
So originally I was going for chemical engineering at Mizzou, and then realized the cost over the actual degree itself was not going to be worth it. So kind of tried to go into the medical field. Okay. So I took a little dabble into pharmacy, where I started going to UMKC for pharmacy while working at kind of our local pharmacy here. Okay. Taking a first look at it, definitely not my cup of tea. I don't know, medical is just not personally what I was going to enjoy. Because, I don't know, just sitting at a computer and just doing nothing all day where you're doing monotonous work. You're just at some point the money's just not worth it. Your sanity, your happiness, just not worth it.
100%.
I mean, money's always great and all, but at the end of the day, I can't just sit there and do the same task over and over again when there's no opportunities for growth or anything whatsoever.
For sure. It's just repetitive, basically.
And just basically working with someone with symbols in their hand like a monkey.
So is there? I mean, I'm assuming, is there a cap in pharmacy?
Yeah. So there's no growth or opportunity. I mean, you can definitely open your own pharmacy, but it's also such a lucrative business, which is basically owned by a corporate market, such as like CVS and Walgreens and places like that.
So your private pharmacists that's not a big thing right now.
Not really, unless you're in a town that just the niche is there where there's no opportunity for local pharmacies.
Is the pharmacist here? Is that a local or is that a franchise?
That's a local one. Okay. But they just the problem is that CVS is just slowly gripping into smaller towns. Yeah. Kind of like the town near here, Harrisonville. Like they just they're just stealing opportunities away from small businesses. So really, I kind of talked to the owner there, and they were basically saying how they don't make as much money or anywhere near what CVS makes. Gotcha. Even the salary for pharmacists there are just a lot less too.
At CVS?
No, at the local one here in town.
Okay.
So like pharmacists there had to work almost 2 jobs. So they worked, which is like commercial pharmacy and private pharmacy. So commercial would be like anything CVS, Walgreens related, Walmart. They said that's just chaotic. The hours there and the time is just insane, like 12-hour shifts, sometimes overtime. And then he had to work a second job even just to start making money. Wow. Pay off student loans.
And what's the degree look like then on that? Like is it a 6-year degree?
Well, UMKC here locally, it's a 6-year degree, but typically be 8 years. Wow. So because it's a PhD, so. Wow. Yeah, so it wasn't for me.
You've already got a PhD.
Pleasant Oklahoma, baby. Yeah. Best it can come.
Okay, so you didn't go into pharmacy. Why sales? Why insurance?
So, I don't know if anybody knows me, but Jake's my brother-in-law. And so I kind of got it good where he kind of gave me the opportunity.
I don't know.
Thank you. No one ever says sorry for him being my brother-in-law.
He's my friend, and I'm sorry sometimes.
It drives me nuts. But I know I drive him nuts too, so.
It's a mutual respect.
But
absolutely.
Jake kind of got me into, sales. I was a cold caller at State Farm here locally. Okay. And then after my 4 years of high school, I pursued, other job opportunities with college and just trying to focus on my school. And then just kind of the opportunity came up where, 6 months ago I was asking to have a job here and he said no to me. And here we are.
I actually said, absolutely not. That will never happen, ever.
I remember this.
Literally. And I was totally proved wrong, and I love it. I love that I was wrong.
Well, Jake, I get where Jake's coming from because I sucked in high school. Yes, I did.
You had everybody has their lazy features that they have come out when they're in high school, and I got to see those, and you proved me wrong. You proved me wrong. You freaking killed it. I remember at State Farm, Dusty, he got, and I've said this before, I remember he was on the phones and he got 11 quotes in one day?
It was like 11 or 12
11
or
or
something.
12 quotes, cold call quotes in one day.
That's not easy to do.
No.
Yeah.
So when Caleb sets his mind to something, he will accomplish it.
It's just getting my mind on that task.
And keeping his mind on that task.
Yeah, and so for the people watching too, Caleb handles all of our commercial trucking. Okay, so when you think commercial, there's a lot of things, with people who own businesses. He specifically focuses on the transportation piece of that, specifically for truck drivers, long haul truck drivers. So not just hauling your own stuff here and there in the state. We're licensed across the country, and he handles 95% of that. And yeah, he's doing a great job with it. So,
and that's really out of all the insurance that we do, I would say the transportation portion is the most complex. It is 100% the most complex insurance that you can get into. The market is so competitive. So Caleb, I know we're on live TV right now basically, but you're doing a hell of a job with it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So I'm very happy with all of it.
I'm happy for the opportunity. It's just like I couldn't imagine myself in any other position right now. I know I'm taking I took a year off college.
I was going to say let's take a step back. So Caleb, you were in school to go be, what'd you say, a chemical engineer?
Yeah.
Then you changed and you was going to be a pharmacist.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can say you took a year off, but you basically just dropped out of college.
That's not a lie.
So tell us why. What made you do that? Did we handcuff you and say you can't go back to college, or was that a decision you made on your own? And if so, what was the reason behind that?
No, we were very open about it. At the very beginning of me starting this, you were very open on I have to make the decision by the end of summer before school starts. It's got to be my decision. And thinking about it, just with growth and opportunities and sales and business, it's definitely more me. I'm definitely compared to anything else I've been doing, I've honestly felt a lot happier here. Just the environment and honestly just the opportunity for growth as me as a person, and my knowledge in business is just there. You're not going to get that from a degree, in engineering where I'm basically just working for some corporation. Entrepreneurial is definitely something that's just growing the world right now. And wasting my time building up college debt for something that's just going to make me basically minimum wage is just not the opportunity there. So, most people don't consider it. And there's opportunities, but I don't want to. I think you've said this before to me personally, but I'm trying to break that tie.
Break that cycle.
Yeah, break that cycle of just save. Basically, worrying about saving, worrying about how much money I'm going to have for my kids, my retirement, things like that just creates some natural stress in people. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I'm definitely taking a risk, but I'm happy I'm doing it.
That's pretty dang good.
I think that's cool.
It's pretty dang good.
Because you're what, 20 years old?
Yeah, I'm 20.
20 years old. And you dropped out to go be a pharmacist for I'm assuming a super high paying salary job right now?
Yeah.
No, you don't have a high salary.
I didn't understand what you said.
No, so this is the thing that I'm making a point here is that it's not like you just dropped out of school because you had some high paying salary, right? You dropped out of school to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And because that's what you've done this whole summer, we won't get into the finance part, but I think you've made a hell of a lot of money in the past 3 or 4 months because you bet on yourself.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's more about the money. It's just more about me.
I know it's about you betting on yourself.
And not only that, it's just also the opportunities for learning too. It's just, I feel like, natural skills and stuff that's going to actually benefit you, you're not going to get from books in college, in my opinion. I always live you know me. Mm-hmm. I live my life textbook to textbook. That was just me. I didn't care about anything else, life skills, anything like that. In high school, I had a chip on my shoulder, always thinking I'm just going to get through life reading textbooks and going to college.
But there's nothing wrong with that. You can have that same chip. You can have all of that, and if you combine that with, how we do things, then you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing is too, is what you just said. There's nothing wrong with either route or whatever you want to do. I think it's important that you have already made the distinction in the fact that whether you're working here in a year or 2 years or 5 years, if you're in sales, and I think this is really important for especially people that are your age, that are at that kind of crossroads. We all think we have to have it figured out whenever we're 22 years old. I'm freaking 31 and I still don't have it figured out.
Correct.
And I'm not going to have it figured out with a lot of things. So the one thing that I am very happy that I have figured out now, and you're already there, is when you work in sales and you're talking about the opportunity for growth, you're talking about the opportunity to learn, all this stuff. Whenever you're in sales, no matter what, there's going to be a way for you to make money, make a lot of money, provide for your family, whatever situation you're in. That's always going to be there because sales is what drives everything. Whether it's cars, whether it's houses, whether it's insurance, whether it's G&C, literally the fact that you're doing that and you're, getting better and better by the day.
And you caught on to it at such an early age.
For sure.
I literally said this to you the other day. I was like, if I knew the things that I knew at 20, I mean,
but I also,
who knows, right?
Yeah.
And dude, you're catching on so quick. You're grasping everything we're throwing at you. I mean,
well, I've also got 2 amazing teachers that are kind of guiding me along with it, so I couldn't ask for anybody better.
I know Amanda and Michaela are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
They do a hell of a job.
They do.
Oh man. Well,
what else, Caleb? So we know your background, education wise, and now what you're doing here at our office, right? What else do you like to do? What's another big thing for you outside of work?
I mean, I love working out.
Okay.
And I used to weigh 350 pounds in high school.
Hold up. Wait a second. What did you say? You said how much did you used to weigh?
I used to weigh 350 pounds.
And what do you weigh now?
I weigh 215.
So you're telling me you've lost over 100 pounds
in about 2 years? I know.
He's still he hasn't even scratched the surface yet. That's the best part.
I just started working out.
So dude, you made a complete total change in your life, all the way across the board.
It definitely boosted how I feel about myself and my happiness too. Definitely my self-esteem. So it's been a huge part of me as a person growing. Out of high school, just trying to get away from that laziness that I definitely created a pattern with high school. It's just breaking that bond again. Just trying to make my life a little bit different. But I guess outside of work, I mean, I love golf. I love playing video games. Honestly, I'm pretty boring. Honestly,
you're gonna. I think one of the next things that you're gonna develop a massive love for is going to probably be football. Okay, I know you already like football, but you're probably gonna just live and breathe it being around us with
when
fantasy
I played
football.
Fantasy, I did love it.
He did start watching it.
Yeah, so
when he played a couple years ago.
That makes it so fun too, and I want to add to that because whenever Caleb was in high school, I was still teaching here, and I didn't have him in class, but he would come into my classroom during connections time sometimes and hang out with his friends and stuff like that. And I didn't really know Caleb very well in high school, because I didn't, just like I said, he wasn't in my class. But whenever he came on board here, from what I did know about him, from the observations that I had as a teacher, and having him come in here, his confidence and his demeanor and his drive to get better, I think it's all just playing hand in hand. So I'm very, very proud of him just from what I've witnessed. And it's freaking awesome to watch it. So I'm excited for you guys to keep seeing his story and keep seeing him grow here with us.
I mean, that's so impressive. And I know I've talked about this before, but you're 20 years old. You dropped out of college to take a chance on yourself. You probably did not get a lot of support from other people in your life, and that's okay. But you did it because, and I think we did a good job with just making sure it was you, right? You were the one that made that decision. You made the decision on your own, which personally, for whatever it's worth, I think you made a hell of a decision.
I think too.
Not about dropping out of school, but just betting on yourself.
Yeah.
That right there, that's all you need to know. And you've also done it with how much weight you've lost, and just getting yourself right, man. You've done that all on your own, and kudos, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't ask for anyone else to kind of grow with too. So it's
Dude,
been a huge
we're happy to have you here.
opportunity.
I bet you could.
Okay,
pick
maybe
a couple
Elon.
other people.
Maybe Elon Musk.
would be good.
that'd be awesome.
Cardone.
Mm-hmm.
I could think of a couple people.
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
not many.
you're towards the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Do you have any like podcasts or any books or anything like that you came across that have helped you at all? And that's okay if you haven't.
not really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really listen to podcasts. Like the Joe Rogan Experience is pretty much like the only one I've ever like dabbled in books wise. I don't ever read books.
Right.
I wish I definitely should read more, and you guys have told me to. But I'm like, I think things that get me through it is just YouTube, like watching just kind of like gurus, I guess, kind of just, self-support, how to work out, how to feel better, getting, through everyday tasks, creating daily tasks to make yourself, keep on task or
Creating
keep on
your
track.
daily habits.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been like just kind of gurus, if that
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
okay. Well, that's good. What do you have any advice for anybody out there that's thinking about dropping out of school or betting on themselves or changing their lifestyle? I mean,
Yeah. And my biggest thing is just take a risk. I think people are just too comfortable nowadays. The world's changing. I mean, 100%. We're definitely moving away from a college-based life to there's so many opportunities for growth, whether you go to college or not go to college. So if you're ever just second doubting yourself, just understand that there's always bigger pros on the risk than there is not taking the risk at all. So,
Dude, that's awesome.
I love that.
It's like, what's the worst that can happen?
seriously, I
Like,
mean,
what is the worst that can happen?
there's always
What
a
is the
rebound.
worst? What is the worst in this scenario? What's the worst thing that could happen?
Honestly, nothing. I mean, seriously.
You go back to school?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean,
you
seriously.
change jobs. You do
I know
something
most
else.
people are definitely concerned about money and stuff, but I mean, always realize there's a million jobs out there and there's a million opportunities. There's always an opportunity to keep yourself up and running. Because, as a human, you got, survival instincts to always make sure that you're always on your feet. So,
Money is everywhere.
literally.
It's everywhere. It's just, it's constantly. It's changing hands. It's going this way. It's going that way. You just got to go get it.
I think people are just too afraid of the sacrifice, which is typically what keeps them from wanting to make more.
I read something the other day, and it said what I read was to be successful is not hard at all. That's what it is. To be successful is not hard at all. It's to be consistently successful. Because you can have success in a day or a month or 2 days or a year or 3 years, but to consistently be successful, that's the hardest part. And that's why there's so many people that are not there, because consistency is the biggest thing that we ever have to do in life, is be consistent. That's it.
And I think you kind of said this, I think I was at your house about a couple weeks ago, where you said, like, people are happy with success, but it's those who just call it quits once they hit it once, instead of just trying to reach for more.
It's creating a consistent habit to know that you want to be good at whatever it is. And it doesn't even have to be anything financial. It can be in the gym, it can be in your relationship, whatever it is. But that's why things fail, is because the consistency is not there. So
Yeah. It's easy to get comfortable and relax
Yeah,
once you
100%.
do something.
yeah,
that's
you do 4 or 5 things and you start, oh, well, I'm feeling good, I feel content, I've done some things, you start feeling good about yourself, and then you kind of lay off the gas, and then you get comfortable, and then it's like, oh, now I got to put the gas back on, but you're already comfortable. So if you just keep the foot on the gas, baby,
Which is I'm trying to do right now.
percent.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's important for us too. Like, we're all guilty of that.
100%.
Like, we're all guilty
Yeah.
of that. I mean, we've been guilty of that this year in our own business at times.
Exactly.
That's why it's, like you said, that's why it's the hardest thing to do. So, I
Yep.
mean,
Being successful is not hard. Being consistent is hard.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's in every facet of life. So,
Because think about it. You take your, which, by the way, let's take another step back. Did you have a couple of dates this weekend?
I had one.
Oh, let's talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Well, how'd it
please.
go? Where'd you guys go?
Terrible. No.
Well, come on.
Terrible.
Let the audience know.
Terrible.
She was what, 38?
38. Yeah, she was actually 55.
55.
dude, you're
Okay.
freaking swinging for the fences there.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Well, she's made money.
Okay.
That
So
means he's
let's
gonna
hear
get
about
comfortable
it.
here.
Yeah. You got
It goes against what we just talked about.
No, it's not. You said consistency. I'm being consistent.
You're being consistent in all parts of your life.
Yes, every freaking part of my life, I'm gonna have it right down my name in the will.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. You got backup plans, baby.
Just in case. You said take big risks.
You took one.
Yeah, I did.
So you're not gonna tell us anything about your date.
No.
Okay. We'll
Not
talk about
important.
that on another time.
That's in the past.
It's in the past.
Moving
Talk
forward.
about the future. Okay.
Being consistent.
Cool.
Okay. I think I'm good, man.
I think I'm good. Anything else you want to say to anybody?
Well, Jannie told me to bring this up, but I did tattoos on myself.
Oh yes.
You what?
I tattooed myself,
Yeah, I
and
don't
Jake
believe
thinks
that.
I'm the
I
dumbest
still don't
human
believe
being
that.
ever.
I still don't believe that.
Here's my amazing tattoos. What do you guys think? Rate them out of 1 out of 10.
They're
I
very
would give
low.
you a -1.
I'm not going to disagree with you that they're not good at all.
But at first we didn't believe you at all. You still don't believe him?
I don't.
Well, they have not
I
changed.
know, but I just don't understand the concept behind it, the reason, anything about it.
Spur of the moment, man.
Bro, to be honest with you,
Why would you start with a sushi roll?
that's what I'm saying. Why would you do that
I had to
and
do-
put them on a place that is on your arm? Put it on your leg or
I
the
did do
bottom of
one on
your
my leg.
foot.
You guys just don't know about that one.
Oh shit.
Let's
All
see
right.
it.
No. It's a flame.
God. Oh man.
It's so bad. I'm not disagreeing with them.
Okay.
It's just bad. It's really bad.
I'm just gonna
Jake
ask
cringes
you,
every
did you
time.
take some mushrooms or something and figured you need to start tattooing on your arm?
Some reason a package ended up by my door and I gave it a try. It was from Amazon. It was a tattoo gun with some ink.
Dude, I still don't believe this. I think I'm being punked. And this has been, what, 3 months in that he's had
About
these?
2 months.
I think me and you should make a bet sometime during this football season, and the loser has to let Caleb give him a tattoo.
That would be a good
I
one.
know a guy.
Well, if anybody needs a professional tattoo done, I'm actually really good. So
How much
you're
do
getting
you
there.
charge right now?
well,
Like $30 an
legally
hour?
it's free.
Legally.
Legally it's free. I can't charge.
Oh, because you're not licensed.
Quote
Okay.
unquote.
Okay.
It's under the table.
But you can Venmo Caleb. What's your underscore Caleb?
You can
dot
Venmo me
Shepherd?
$100, but you'd have to tag it as like bananas,
Bananas.
or groceries.
You just bought a bananas from
yeah,
Caleb.
you just bought bananas from Caleb for
and then you end up just getting a half sleeve, just flat out half sleeve on your left arm.
no color, only black.
$100. That's a hell of a deal.
I think that's pretty good.
I think I can do it.
We'll put that in the bio underneath the video.
Yeah, you
here.
can link my my link tree to it.
Okay.
This really went off the rails.
God,
It drives Jake nuts.
a tattoo that you did on yourself. That's a great idea, Dusty. I think what we should do with all of our fantasy leagues, whoever the loser is, okay, we actually could go live in one of my groups right now and tell them.
Let's do it. Tell them.
You think people would agree to that?
Get on there. Get on there. Tell them.
Let's see if they'll do it.
Just go live and say, hey, just FYI, guys.
Caleb bought a tattoo gun.
We're gonna just shoot for it. Let's see if anybody answers.
The loser of our league this year.
Oh, we got. Oh, never mind.
Should it be lowest points score?
Alex is busy.
What if it's me?
You've already given yourself.
Well, that
plenty of
wouldn't be an
tattoos.
issue. I'll just do
I think
whatever.
Toby's here.
There's Toby.
Toby.
What's up?
Hey, buddy, we're live right now. Got a quick question for you.
Let's hear it.
The loser of our fantasy football league, okay, has to get tattooed by this guy right here.
I bought a tattoo gun.
What do you think? Yes?
Is it a Vic?
One more time?
Is it a G3 or a Vic? Will it wash it off?
No, it's real.
It's real.
I'm out.
All right, he's in. All right, guys, he is in. Toby, we'll put it on the board.
Awesome.
Good talking to
Thank
you.
goodness. Someone said yes.
All right, cool. Another day. Let's do
All
it.
right.
Good
Peace.
job. Peace.
That was funny. That was great.